Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live Pearl of Wisdom show. Look at all you guys. Hockey season still, middle of the summer on hockey season. There's people in here. That's what I like to see. Hockey diehards coming in here to talk a lot of hockey. And we got signings that just happened, didn't we? We did. Nice. Chuck Fletcher is like hitting it hard with doing well with the contracts. Well, that Farabee contract to me, I think there's a little doubt that that's going to be a value contract right there. And what a smart move getting Couturier signed first, having him do a public statement that, I'm here to buy into the team, and it's not all about making as much money. It's got to work for both sides and all of those sort of things like that. And then him signing, really a pretty low contract in comparison to what he could have got out there. Was it 7.75 or what? Was it even 8? Like, it was less than Aho got. Of course, that was because Montreal offer sheeted him, but it was less than Aho, and at the same. Who else was it less than? It was like less than Duchesne and less than Johansson in Nashville, and they signed that long time ago. Yeah, so he got that deal, and then I was just looking at the Farabee deal. A lot of it is got to be paid out in signing bonuses. Last 2 years, he makes $6 million of actual dollars, but an AAV of $5 million. I like these. This is smart move. These are smart signings. You see a guy like Farabee who is just going to projection every year, and getting better and better all the time. I see no reason why you wouldn't sign him to a longer term contract. It's the way you win in this league now. You got to hit these. If you don't hit them, yeah, you lose. But if you do hit them, you get a fantastic. I wonder, is anybody even in here? Tell me if you're in here, guys. Is this stream working? Because it shows me they got people in here. Huh. I don't know. I can't even tell. Let's see if I get any concurrence here, but it's funny that we would have 3 people in here and then all of a sudden there's 0 and nobody's saying anything in the chat. Very odd indeed. Let me see. I'll do it on my phone. See if this is actually even working. Yeah. Oh, wait a second. I posted something. There it goes. So, okay, we got people in here. It was weird. I didn't think the stream was working there for a second. Whoever's in here, write something up there. Let me know what's going on. Okay, you're there. I was weird. We had 3 people in here right away, and then everything went all wacky. But now Lauren's here. That's good. So I was talking about the Farabee signing, and I think that's a fantastic signing. What do you think, Lauren? $3 million a year, or an AAV of $5 million. I think those are the kind of signings that successful teams got to sign. You got to believe in your young players, and yeah, it's $5 million AAV for 6 years. They buy out. Let me look at this. Yeah, it's a $5 million AAV, but I saw it was also a lot signing bonuses quite a bit. Like the first 2 years were $3 million, but in $2 million of it was signing bonuses, and then it goes up to $6 million in 2028, but an AAV of $5 million. He has been, he got 38 points and 20 goals last year. He's progressed exactly the way you want a guy to progress. He's only 21 years old. So this brings him to free agency. I think that's one part. Maybe it buys out 1 year of free agency. Let's see, 27, 28. I think it buys out 1 year of free agency. Middlestock got 2.5. Yeah. Now Middlestock got 2.5 for 3 years, and you got to remember he struggled hardcore in Buffalo. It's so unfortunate for Middlestat there. If he would have been in a normal organization, he probably would be getting what Farabee got. But what I like is it's 6 years, so they sign him up for 6 years. They buy out 1 year of free agency, and when that, we'll see what he does after that. I'm pretty confident that he's going to do well there in Philadelphia. I don't. That he is the kind of guy that you give those kind of contracts to. Extremely hardworking, like what you're getting from Farabee every game. Great attitude, mature kid for his age. I mean, if something happens where he isn't successful, it's a huge surprise. I think if you're going to take a risk, that's one to take right there. Middlestack contract was good too. That's one thing that's going to kind of work out in Buffalo's favor is they're going to be able to give contracts like that out, because if they try to go to go by the numbers, they're going to get screwed. Tage Thompson's better than he's shown there. Dahlin's going to get a crap contract for what his value should be at this point, but they were poorly developed. The guy that got away with it was Ristolainen. Ristolainen ended up getting a really good contract and not developing well. Middlestat could be a sweetheart deal, yeah. And I think they will under Granato. Well, he already showed it. It looks like he's going to be getting much better numbers in Buffalo the next couple of years. That could be an absolute awesome deal for sure, no doubt about it. I'm going to share this out. Maybe I will, maybe later. Well, like as far as offer sheeting, Darlene, Buffalo can match anything. So there wasn't really much they could do for Darlene. I guess what they could do, what somebody could do, is do what they Carolina did with Kotkaniemi and give him a 1-year deal for really high, and then you have to what's that called? Give him a how come I can't remember what that is? Qualifying offer. Jeez, do something like that, but then you got to do it yourself. Then you also have to do it yourself as well. Hey, Mercer, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming in. Yeah, I mean, my inkling was that it was going to fall apart for Montreal. Like, the more I thought about it, it looked like it was just lightning in a bottle. The Anderson contract, I never felt comfortable with. I still think he's going to be a fourth liner. I mean, this really could all end up blowing up in their face pretty hard. They make it to the finals and then do nothing for a very long time. It's possible, but fortunately for them, they do have Suzuki, they do have Caulfield and Toffoli. But after that, it's pretty thin there now. I mean, I don't see him matching that deal. How can you match that deal? Obviously, he doesn't want to be in Montreal. So you can't match it. Now, he's been talking about, trying to trade for Dvorak. Well, that doesn't really make all that much sense. Is Dvorak going to put you in a position to be a cup contender? No. Yeah. I mean, sometimes you can rationalize it. There's something behind the scenes that you don't know, and they got to do things and stuff. But with Bergevin, that's not the case. Like, if you look at what he did, the Anderson deal, Anderson got 17 goals, but his shooting percentage was extremely high, and he was absolutely horrible defensively. He's basically a glorified fourth liner. Yeah, that was a mystery. Price played fantastic. Fleury made that one big mistake there. DeBoer was kind of outcoached, but for the most part, it was just. Yeah, it almost could come back and bite them even harder than ever now, because if they start thinking that they're good again because of all that, they're in trouble, because they're not. They're not going to do it again. I'm saying it here right now. They're not going to do it again. There's no way. I don't know. He's got to get a second line center now if they're going to do anything again. It's going to be really interesting to see how he plays this now. Yeah, I like DeBoer for his I like DeBoer for his how do I explain it? Getting his dressing room work, his motivation, but what he does on the ice, he messed up the whole goaltender situation there. After Fleury made that mistake, you got to go back to Fleury all day, man. You don't go to Lehner there. That was a bad decision. Hey, Bill, how you doing? I think DeBoer's got a lot of good qualities, but he certainly got I can't even argue that he got crushed in the playoffs. There's no doubt about that. Can't even argue that. He got totally crushed in the playoffs. Well, did Mike Milbury actually coach? I don't remember that. He was a terrible general manager, but I guess, did we talk about the signings yesterday with the Islanders? Yeah, I guess we did. But I like that signing. What guys that are in there do? What did you think about that signing with Philadelphia? Yeah, we'll keep on adding trade ideas until I got a good, healthy video I can do. Did he coach? Okay. Who did he coach? How come I don't remember that? Oh, he coached in Boston, didn't he? Didn't he coach in Boston? That's right. Yeah, we can do potential trades, Kyle Mercer. I was thinking about maybe looking at some Marner trades. Do a big Marner trade, and I'll share it to the Toronto audience there. See if they want to come in and chime in on it. Oh, okay. I don't know why I don't remember that. That's weird. Buffalo re-signed Middlestat, yeah, for a sweet little 3-year, 2.5 mil per, which could end up looking like an absolute steal. But you can't really argue with it because he really hasn't turned out the way they were supposed to. But the thing is, doesn't it suck? You're sitting there you're in negotiations with the team that's saying that you didn't develop very well. And you're looking at them going, yeah, but that was your freaking job. Like everybody I know is saying that I was developed poorly. I should have been left down. They played him too soon. They put way too much pressure on the kid. He lost his confidence. Surprise, surprise. That's why you don't play kids so soon. Then he goes down to the AHL and, and they've had terrible coaches. Yeah, I don't think that is interesting. I don't think Arizona's going to give a first round pick to a Carter Hart if he has a bad year again. That is going to be one hell of a first round pick. So probably not. If you're going to trade that first, it's going to be a player that you're darn sure is going to be absolutely amazing. So if Carter Hart has another bad year, and I doubt he will, I can't see that. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work that way. I know what you're doing there. You're saying that they believe in him even though he had 2 bad years in a row, but if even at that you don't have to give up your first. If he sucks again, you won't have to give up a first to get him. You won't have to give up. Nobody would have to give up a first, let alone Arizona, who could be having like number 1 overall type first. Well, Hart will always, yes, probably. Right there. Hey, CL. Welcome to the live, buddy. So, CL, what do you like? How do you like the Farabee signing, buddy? This should be interesting. I haven't had time today to get on the Philadelphia Flyers boards and ask people what they thought of the signing. Yeah, I think he's gonna. I like Farabee a lot. So he's only 21 years old. He put up 20 goals in 50 some games last year, and anybody who watches the Flyers knows that the odds of that kid not working out is so slim. Like I could see him being a 35 goal scorer easy, like a Kyle Connor type guy, and he could. I definitely think he'll outplay that contract. I'm pretty sure of it. The only thing I don't like about it is it goes right up to free agency, but yeah, maybe something like that could happen, I suppose. I don't know why they would take. You might as well not even have Hutton in there, though. They're not going to take Hutton back. Unless for some reason you actually believe Hutton's going to crush it there in Arizona. I don't see it. If he has a really bad year again this year, his value will be pretty low. Yeah, Hutton. So basically, the Flyers would not have a goalie. Just imagine having a goaltending tandem of Hutton and Jones. Hutton's not that good. He's horrible. If you had Hutton and Jones, you could arguably have the worst two number one goaltenders from last year on your team. Hutton eventually lost his number one role, but no, I see. Yeah, that's not it. There's no way you can give up that first. There's no way you can't give up that first. Not just to try to get rid of Hutton's contract. No, that first is though that is going to be a top 3 pick next year, and all 3 of the top 3 next year are yeah, all 3 of them. Even if they don't get the number 1 overall, I mean, they've got a fantastic top 3 next year. There's no way you're giving that pick up. No way. You see me. What do you mean, Lauren? You see who? Why did you say that? Let's see what else we got. Let's see what we got for rumors and stuff like that. Yep. Oh, the Buffalo Sabres signed Yoki Haru too. Casey Middlestat got a 3-year 7.5. So what's that? 2.5, 2.5. Okay, that's a little over 2.5. Yoki Haru has agreed to a 3-year an average of 2.5 as well. And that pushes him till he's 25 when he has arbitration rights. There's another guy, Yoki Haru. I mean, he's been playing since he's 22 now. He's been playing since he was like 19 years old in the league. So those are two really good signings by, getting those guys locked up at 2.5 for the next 3 years. So, and Yoki Haru will have big minutes next year. I still think he's a good defenseman. He's got a good coach there. I think both of those contracts, they could easily outplay those contracts. Oh, you were talking to Kyle. Carter Rowney signs with the Detroit Red Wings. Didn't he play for Anaheim last year? No, for the Penguins. How much did he sign for? It's got to be league minimum. $825,000 for Carter Rowney to play on the fourth line for Detroit. The Carolina Hurricanes had Tim Gleason to the coaching staff. You would remember Tim Gleason, Lauren. Tim Gleason, the shot blocking extraordinaire. Sorry, I'm just checking some out here. There you go. Sorry. He isn't worth much, so not a bad deal. No, it's okay. Might even be a little high, actually. He barely played last year. But he's one of those heart and soul guys that teams like Detroit with young kids like to have on their team to keep the kids honest and stuff like that. So he's fought for everything he's had in the league, and now he's got an opportunity in Detroit to keep his career going, really. It's all it is. Let's see. I'm trying to look for some rumors. The other thing about that offer sheet by Carolina, it happened at the worst time because there's no way teams aren't in trading mode right now. Like, they're more thinking about a lot of teams. They don't want to trade right now. They want to see what their kids turned out to, because sometimes you get some surprise kids that mature over the summer like so fast. Oh no. My gosh, not Ron, Steele from Steel Flyer, Steele, my boss, Steele. He he's been out of power since yesterday and has a flooded basement. No, that sucks. That's a crappy deal right there. It does seem flurry. Lauren and I were kind of banging that. It's going to be tough. I never count out Fleury for anything. I think they can do it. I think Cooliton is a great coach, and I've heard lots of people say otherwise. But they're really going to have to outscore their opposition a lot because, but I think their team is set up that Fleury can save them over and over again. I mean, Lankinen did it. And then, I mean, when Fleury's not playing, you got Lankinen. So goaltending is great. I do think that their defense is better than last year. And let's face it, they were right in it till the end. Like early, a lot of people thought Chicago was going to make it for sure. Kane, DeBrincat, Taves is back. He's going to have them all playing an honest brand there for sure. Kubalik is still young. I mean, he can pot 30. Offensively, that team is fantastic. I told you yesterday I'm only going to be doing evenings, John, on Tuesdays now. The evenings is just not working out. And on the Thursday night, I find that we don't really get many people. And then on the Friday, we get nobody. Because it's like a Thursday and night and then a day. And it just doesn't work out that way. It doesn't really work out for my family to do it in the evening at all. But I want one day during the week where I can just go out and do some things I got to do. So I'm going to take Tuesday evenings. Tuesdays will be the only evenings. And when hockey season starts, that Tuesday evening is probably going to be live streaming games. So I'll be doing live stream games, hopefully with Peyton on the radio. I haven't had... everybody's in summertime mode right now. I can't get anybody to come on with me. Yeah, but Chicago kind of rebuilt in a different kind of way. Like, they were rebuilding before apparently Taves and everybody knew they were rebuilding. They got Kirby Doc, they got DeBrincat. They also made some really smart moves getting players out of Europe like Kubalik. And what else? Let me bring up the Chicago roster. Henrik Borgstrom's going to get a chance as a third line center next year. That should be interesting. Hasn't put very good. He's not going to be giving you very many points, but probably as good as who they had last year, who Toronto has now, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But Brandon Hagel, He was college, right? No, he's from Canada. Where did they get him? 6th round pick. Played fantastic last year. Brandon Hagel. Those are the guys that really speed up your rebuild. When you can get guys that can play on your roster that are middle round picks. But DeBrincat, Doc Kane, Kubalik, Tays, Tyler Johnson, I think is a sneaky good pickup. Got kind of buried in Tampa, but was going to get a chance here at 31 to put up numbers again. The problem I see is they don't really have true bottom 9 players. This is a very offensive team. Very offensive team. That's going to have to shut down by committee. But their top 4, DeHaan, Jones, McKay, Murphy, is actually really underrated as long as Jones bounces back from 2 bad years in Columbus. Little concerned about their defensive depth. It's going to be tight. I'm sharing this to our Chicago fans here. I just shared this to our Chicago fans. Yeah, we had Casey Middlestat. That was a good little signing. I mean, that's the one. If there's a silver lining, as they like to say, it's that they can sign these guys that were not developed very well to reasonable contracts, and they have bounce back years. Hopefully, they're developed a lot better now, and those contracts look really good. In that way, it might pan out. But anyways, getting back to that, will they make the playoffs thing? It's going to be a tough haul. It's probably it might be the toughest division, really, to decide. Chicago, Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota. The only ones, I don't believe St. Louis will make it. I don't believe Nashville will make it. So it's between Winnipeg, Minnesota, Dallas, Colorado, and Chicago. If you take the goaltending out of it, because Colorado is definitely going to make it. Dallas is going to be all about injuries. Minnesota, I think, should make it for sure. So it'd be Chicago, Colorado, Dallas. Chicago, Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota. And Nashville, St. Louis, and Winnipeg miss? Winnipeg, to me, it's hard to believe that they would miss this year. So I could see Dallas missing again if the injury, but if with that old lineup, with the age of that team, I could see it happening. But I mean, and if Fleury goes down, forget about it. Chicago's not going to make it. So Lankinen's good, but he's not that good. So and I don't know, does Chicago, how much does Chicago have? You still got Philip Kurashev that they don't have on there. He's only 21 years old. He played well last year. Tyler Johnson is knocking him out of that spot right now. I think he'll probably take Nylander's spot. Mike Hardman, Mackenzie Entwistle. They got a lot of guys that are going to be vying for spots. It'll be interesting. Chicago is probably one of the most interesting teams out there. It's kind of weird. The Fleury move, I'm pretty sure mostly it was to help Lankinen become the best goaltender he can be. If Chicago is out of it, I see Fleury getting traded to Pittsburgh at the deadline. I see that happening if they're out of it. Philadelphia Flyers signed Farabee today. That was $5 million a year for 6 years. And I do think he's going to play himself. I do think he's going to play himself over top of that contract. Yeah, well, yeah, that's a great goal. That's the thing about that. When you're looking at having that combo for Chicago, will give them like 4 or 5 extra wins right there. Having a backup that can win like Lankinen can. I think they're probably going to play Fleury about 60%, 40 though, something like that. What's the 2 B's for there, CL? Yeah, it could be one of the best in the league. Chicago, New Jersey. I think we already talked about that. Toronto, New Jersey, Boston. And Chicago Chicago's right up to the cap, but at the deadline, if they're in it, they could start looking at guys like Manson or Lindholm to improve their defense or whatever they want to do. Farabee, oh, okay, I gotcha. They don't have McElhinney anymore there. They have Elliott Mercer. So Elliott didn't have a great year last year, but yeah. He was a good backup, but he's gotten too old now. Lankinen is meh. Well, he did pretty awesome last year and behind a defense that kind of sucked. But the question with Lankinen is, and I think this is the reason why they bring Fleury in now, is it's one thing to come in 1 year and crush it, as we all know. But once shooters have a read on you, then you have trouble. And Fleury had that issue, and he had to change his game a bit. And I think Fleury's going to come in and help Lankinen get over that next level now, where you're able to stop against players that know who you are. So he's going to help them fill in the holes, because he's got holes in his game. So same as Nedeljkovic in Carolina, and I guess Greiss will be helping him there. Yeah, I think he's a good goaltender. It's just that he come in 1 year, he's very athletic, he's tough to score against, but the shooters had just basically seen him once. They hadn't really seen him yet. There's no doubt about it, he's got holes though. And Fleury's going to come in there now for a year and show him how to change up your game to clean it up, and for whatever holes they may have and stuff like that, to try to make him a number one goaltender. Chicago did get Fleury for nothing, yeah. Which was not really nothing to Vegas, because they got all the cap space for it. Now Vegas has got to get a number one. I think Chicago did have the most shots against, yes. I had that up here. See if I can find it. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, Patrick Kane is a horrible defensive player. Team stats. Shots against. No, that's shots against. What? That's weird. This is 2021? Oh, you know what? That's got to be playoffs. Oh, that was playoffs. Never mind. Yeah, Chicago did have the most shots against. Tied with Buffalo. Then it was Vancouver, Columbus, Ottawa, San Jose, Detroit. The least shots against was Colorado. And of course, Dallas, Boston. Vegas, and then, believe it or not, Toronto. Stud defensemen are going to get paid. They're big, they're strong, they are off with lots of offense. They're going to get paid. They're too hard to find. The improved D should help the goalie duo for sure. That's what I mean. Like, Lankinen did all that as a young, very young goaltender. Pretty young. I think he's like 26. He's a late blooming goaltender, but he had the most shots against, and he had, and they had tough shots against too. But that being said, I mean, You got, what, Jake McCabe and Jones should improve their shots against, for sure. I don't know if Jones didn't play well defensively in Columbus. But at the very least, they'll play more in the offensive zone with him. And of course, with McCabe, it's whether he can stay healthy or not. He's been injured a lot. Yeah, but it's a big difference getting 50, 55 points from your defenseman. Puck-moving defensemen that can do, like, stretch passes like Hamilton can. And no matter what you may think about it, Lauren, he was in contention for the Norris for like 3 years in a row. So his name was the year that he broke his leg. From what I heard, he was leading in Norris votes. So yeah, it is. It's way more. I played defense. Defenseman that can pot points is huge. Huge, man. Offense does matter. I know it's gotten all cool and everything to kind of forget about the offense. Like, offense doesn't mean you're a good defenseman. It's part of meaning you're a good defenseman. You can out-offense your some poor defense. I believe his offense way outweighs his poor defense. His defense isn't that bad analytically speaking. He'll cough up the puck. One-on-one, he's not the best defenseman, but overall, Hamilton gets the puck out quick. He strips the puck well. His zone entries are fantastic. Yeah, he's definitely an offensive defenseman. And that really depends on what your coach is asking you to do too. Jones is actually going to be a lot better if he's given ability to do that type of role in Chicago. He's going to show much better numbers. That's kind of what he is Hamilton. Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. Having Slavin as a backup allows you to be able to do that even more, for sure. I'll tell you what, if I have a guy like Hamilton on my team, I'm going to be like, take risks, dude. We got Slavin back there. It's okay. I want offensive pressure as much as possible. When I coached, my attitude was the best defense is a good offense. If you're in the other side of the ice more than you're on our side of the ice, you're probably going to win more games. And a guy like Hamilton does that. Hamilton's possession numbers were absolutely fantastic. He struggled in his own zone when he didn't have the puck. So you got a guy like Slavin that gives him the puck. But he was pretty good at stripping the puck. So you don't get perfect defensemen, but I agree. Do I think Slavin's better than Hamilton? Absolutely, no doubt about it. Because Hamilton puts underrated offense up as well and is absolutely stellar. Slavin never makes a mistake in the defensive zone, ever. Him and Hedman are just insane. Yeah, they won't have Slavin, but he's still going to put up very good offense. They'll probably try him with Graves. Somebody like that. It's not going to work as effective, but I'd still have Hamilton all day. Would I pay him $9 million for 8? I'm not sure about that. That's a little steep, maybe, but yeah, Yoki Haru signed for the same as Middlestat for $2.5 million. That Devils team is going to be fun to watch. I think they will take a step forward for sure. I think they could be a scary team this year. Hughes, I think Hughes is going to have a crushing year this year. I really do. The problem with Subban was that he's not in shape. That was the main problem with Subban. He doesn't have the wheels he once had. He didn't keep himself in shape. So if Hamilton's not keeping himself in shape, you could be right. But I mean, you can't blame a guy for them paying a guy that's had Norris Trophy votes over and over again, putting up the offense that he did. And if they're an analytics team, his analytics have been absolutely through the roof. If they're looking at analytics, his Corsi, his expected offense ratio, all of it has been fantastic. No, he's talking about Subban, the defenseman for New Jersey Devils. Subban's a guy that does need a guy like Slavin or something like that too. Hamilton, I think, is a little less likely. I like Hamilton's defense better than Subban's. I think Hamilton makes better decisions with the puck than Subban quite a bit. Subban has a tendency to get selfish. And so... So anyways, for the second half today, Jordan is coming back. Jordan who? I'll take John Carlson's offense with his weaker defense all day. I don't mind that at all. If a guy can put up 80 some odd points and score like Carlson, and his defense is weak, I don't care. I don't care. To me, it's the same as being able to be as defensively responsible as Slavin, but not put up much points. I'll take either one's fine with me. I don't mind it because John Carlson's type of offense is going to have the possession in the offensive zone more often than the defensive zone. So I can take a guy. I just got to find a guy that can play with Carlson, that's able to play back a little bit and is good at stripping the puck off of the opposition and all of those sort of things. It'd be beautiful to have a guy that can put up 80 some points and play defense like Hedman, but I mean, that's rare air type player. You got, generally speaking, you're going to have one or the other. You're going to have one or the other. If you had a whole team of Pesci's, you're not going to win a Stanley Cup. You're not going to win a Stanley Cup with the whole... And if you have a whole team of Carlsons, you're not going to win a Stanley Cup. Neither one. If you have a whole team of Hedmans, you'll win a Stanley Cup. If you have a whole team of Slavens, you'll win a Stanley Cup. For sure. Jordan Subban's coming back? Really? Wow. Was he in, he was in Europe? Well, what I'm saying is, if you have a whole team of Carson, it's the same as having a whole team of Pesce. Like, people will say, well, Pesce's a better defenseman than Karlsson. No, he's not. They're both the same. One just does something different than the other, that's all. If you have two Karlssons, that would be great on defense. Give me if you've got a team full of Erik Karlsson in his prime, you're going to win a cup. And yeah, he's not super strong defensively, but his offense is so amazing it won't even matter. You'll hardly ever be in your end of the ice. I mean. So I was thinking, yeah, that's the way I look at it. Like, Karlsson now is getting a little older and he's slipping in Washington. But I don't think that, well, I was a rover as a defenseman, so I was a pain in the ass, but I was also a rover. You can, as long as you've got the speed to get back, there's nothing wrong with it. Fans don't like rovers because they scare them. Like in Edmonton, everybody liked Larson, but they didn't like... Barry's a bad example because Barry is especially bad on defense. When you're as bad as he is, like, he's really, really, really bad. When you're that bad, it's like being really, 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 really bad on offense. There's a good example. Zadorov is like Barry. Zadorov's offense is so bad that his good defense really doesn't matter. Like, it does matter, but not much. It's still a negative rate of production, where Barry is sort of the same thing. His offense is good, not great. It's good, but his defense is so bad, it makes it a negative rate of production. So where was I going with that? Barry is a rover. Burns is a rover. But Larson, for instance, is a good example. They really liked him. He got better as he got older. Like, now, Larson can move the puck almost adequately. He really improved that part of his game. But before he did that, people loved Larson. And Larson was amazing at stripping the puck. But God forbid if he ever had to pass. All he did was pass it out to the neutral zone when he got it. And then it would go on the other opposition stick and come back the other way. But fans watching it said, oh, they love Larson because he gets the puck out. They don't realize that it's more than just getting the puck out past the blue line. You got to get it so it's moving out the other direction. Otherwise, you're just giving the puck up. You might as, not really accomplishing much of anything. So Kaprizov, I don't know what's going on with that. Apparently, they're just structuring the deal. It's $9 million for 6 years. And they're restructuring it. It's all in how they're going to put the bonuses and all that kind of stuff they're working on right now. Did he actually sign now finally with the Islanders? I I think a rover can play sufficient defense. Not bad. Like it's probably never going to be great. Carlson played. Yeah, did Carlson take risks and leave his goaltender sometimes? Yeah, absolutely. But his offense more than made up for it. More than made up for it. So I don't. It all depends on. There's very few guys. If you're going to put up a point a game player and you're going to be fantastic defensively, you're going to be one of the best that ever played the game. There's very few that can do that. So Zach Parise for sure signed with the Islanders now. Is that what you're saying, Rachel? Or are you asking? So far, I don't see where he signed with the Islanders yet. Let's look at what the hockey writers have to say for rumors for today. Parise has signed with the Islanders, yeah. But it hasn't been registered. No contract details have been revealed, but the assumption is that it's near league minimum. It's somewhere around league minimum for 1 year. Kotkaniemi wanted a way out. This is from thehockeywriters.com. That was obvious to me. He wanted a way out and he found it. Somebody brought up a really good point that his name was floating around going to Buffalo, Kotkaniemi. He probably heard that and called his agent and said, figure out what we can do here besides that. Slavin is the better defenseman than Hamilton, no doubt about that. I'm not going to deny that. Like I said, Hamilton's offense is great, and I believe he has more value. I think he has good positive value on a team, but Slavin is ridiculous. Like, Slavin never makes a mistake, ever. He's almost the closest thing to a perfect defensive defenseman I've ever seen. And I do believe he's got to get a Norris. He's got to get a Norris before he's done, I would say. The only problem now is he may never because of Makar. It sounds like Virtanen could be going to the KHL. It's not entirely based on points. But things like I agree. Sometimes they put too much emphasis on points. No doubt about that, because they want to sell the offensive players in the league. But I mean, it's been a while. Robinson got it. things are starting to change. You got to remember, before last year, nobody had won a Norris that was on a team that didn't make the playoffs. Yeah, Logan Mailloux. I don't know what the heck that guy did, but so I don't know what he did, but I don't trust all of this cancel stuff. It probably wasn't as bad as you would ever think it was, but I don't really know. I know what he did, but I don't know the whole details around what he did, so I don't judge it. The whole thing that would happen with Montreal, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's just disgusting that they picked him," and all that kind of stuff like that. People don't even know the details around the situation. Sort of the same thing that happened with D'Angelo. You don't know what actually happened, and then he came out and after a while, his teammates are supporting him, saying that it wasn't as bad, he's not racist. All of these things that he was being thrown at are not even true. And so I don't know exactly what happened, but I know that I don't trust people making those decisions for me to judge somebody because of it. Yeah, he said I think he said he didn't want to get drafted because he was hoping that would be his punishment and that'd be it. He could have. Maybe. I don't know. You figure, hey, don't get drafted this year. That's a good enough punishment. And he kind of crosses his fingers that that'll be it. And then the OHL says, no, that's not it. You can't play in the OHL this year either. So where is he going to go from the OHL? Will they take him in college? He's going to have to play in Europe, I suppose. But it might actually end up being better for him. If he goes and crushes it in Europe, it sounds like Virtanen's going to play in the KHL. The Panthers are set to announce a new deal for Barkov, apparently. I have a feeling he's going to make... It's believed he'll get more than 7.75 from Couturier, I imagine. I think he'll get about 9.5 a year. He is 10 million, but Couturier signing a 7.75 might, I don't know. For sure, he's a $10 million player. I would pay him $10 million a year. That's why I don't understand when I say I would just get Kaprizov signed up now at 11 million. But 5 years for 9, at the end of that 5 years, with the trajectory that Kaprizov is on, that his cap hit's going to be enormous. $11 million wouldn't surprise me. But with Couturier signing, now Couturier's 28, and so they are buying out years of free agency here. So I imagine 10, yeah. But I haven't heard any number on it, on what it's going to be. But if I was guessing, I would say about $10 million a year. Use cayenne. uh, you know, the reason why teams don't make offer sheets is because okay, first of all, let me get your answer to that question, because owners don't want teams doing offer sheets. They don't want a bidding war going on for players. They're going to end up having to pay players like crazy amounts of money, and you always got one stupid GM that doesn't know what he's doing and is going to overpay someone and then screw up the whole market. But why do you say that? Why do you think there should be teams making more offer sheets? Well, it does make it exciting for sure. No doubt about that. But the owners of the teams definitely don't want it. It's going to drive up the... But I don't see what the problem is. If a guy wants to go out and overpay for a guy, then you got to let him go. What I think is, I think the offer sheet, they should restructure the offer sheet compensation so there's more compensation going back to the team, and then you would see more. Yeah, but if they restructured it, so say you sign a guy for, like for instance, say with Kokaniemi, instead of a first and third to do what he did there, what if he had to pay 2 firsts? Or a first, I don't know. Because most of the teams that are going to be doing that, they're going to be teams that are going to probably be well in the playoffs. So it's going to be a late first all the time. But then again, they should be able to restructure trades that way. Yeah, I think there still would be. Teams that want to win now don't care about firsts. And teams are less likely, so it's going to not feel so bad if you have to give it up or whatever. No, they'll just, if you don't give them appropriate compensation, they're just going to match whatever you do. See, and more will happen, because if you're going to get 2 firsts for the $6 million, like a $6 million contract, you're going to have to give up 2 firsts. Then teams are going to be more driven to make offers. Teams are going to think more likely that they're going to be able to get the player, so they'll actually make the offer. That's a better way to put it. What stops the offer sheet from happening is, well, like what we just saw with Montreal when they made the stupid offer to Aho. It was a stupid offer. There's no way Carolina's not going to sign that offer. All they did was piss Carolina off. So then they come back and do it to them. So other GMs are not, no other GM out there wants to piss off the other GMs. Most trades that happen, they really want it to work out for both sides. If you've got a guy that is just trying to screw you over and over and over again all the time, you're not even going to trade with them anymore. Like in Montreal has limited their possibility of trading unless they're going to get screwed over. Yeah, we talked about that. Tim Gleason, one of the best shot blockers of all time. And the funny thing about Tim Gleason was that he didn't get, he had never coached before, and he got an NHL role as a coach. Yeah, at least make them feel like you're helping them. Now, if you identify a talent on the other guy's team that they're not identifying themselves, well, I mean, you're not going to tell them, oh, actually, that player's way better than you think, so I'm going to give you more for it. In those ways, you're always going to try to, but if you're going to go do an offer sheet like that to someone and basically screw them on their payroll and the other general managers are going to be like, screw you, I'm not trading with you. And kiss my butt. And that's what's going to happen with Bergevin too. They're not going to bother trading with him anymore. There's sort of a group, I don't know, call it right or wrong, but there's a group effort with general managers to make it so, like, when you need a player, you need a player. And yes, other teams know that you don't have much leverage and all of those sort of things like that. They're still going to try to work the leverage. Nobody expects you not to work whatever leverage that you have. But on the same note, there's a code. There's a code. There's a code of ethics as a general manager. And if you break that code of ethics, and offer sheets are one of those codes, because you're taking away a guy's job. If I go and offer sheet a guy that you're just working me outside of my cap structure, you're trolling spam callers? What do you mean? If it's putting me out of my cap structure and making it so I got to take, like, a couple firsts off you that are going to be late first round picks and make it very difficult for me to be competitive, you're taking that general manager's job away from him. Don Sweeney is saying that he's going to interview Claude Julien. That'd be a great combination. Oh, okay. That would work out really well. One of the best possession coaches of all time. Claude Julien and Daryl Sutter are two of the best. Had the two, like, everybody calls them old schoolers, but their possession stats when they coached were absolutely insane all the time. I would really like to know what was going on in the room in Montreal with Julien. What was going on there? I would really like to know where that rift was. But I think that would be a fantastic combination. I'm sure Julien is perfectly fine with being an assistant with the guy that took his job or whatever. The coaches know you quit, you get fired. They don't have any hard feelings about a guy that gets hired after them. Julien got hired several times after somebody got fired, so I don't think that would be a big deal. I'm going to grab a coffee here, guys. I'll be right back. One of the things I do if somebody calls my house like that is I'll answer the same way with every question until they hang up. They'll ask me a question. I'll be like, I like trees. And so, have you ever blah, 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 blah? And I'll be like, I like trees. I like trees. I like trees. Like, you could put any question there. I'll just go, I like trees. Yeah, but I like trees. I'll just keep on doing that over and over again until they hang up. Is there a better time I can get a hold of you? I like trees. They eventually hang up over. Sometimes they'll start laughing because they'll figure out what I'm doing, and they'll just start laughing like crazy. If you really want to do if you really want to have fun with it, do it for Jehovah's Witness if they come in. Have them sit down and just say, have you heard about Jesus? I like trees. Which, in that sense, probably isn't a good thing to say, actually. This guy likes trees. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Just keep on saying it over and over again. I'm going to grab another coffee. I'll be right back. Hey there, let's turn it into a hockey thing. That would be a good thing. That's what I would do if Bergevin called me up wanting to trade. You think about that. Bergevin did what he did. He did what he did to Carolina by doing that offer sheet for Aho, right? Carolina goes, I like Lamp. Yeah, what is that one? What's that from? Lamp. But anyways, so he starts calling Arizona and stuff like that. And they're going like, yeah, sure, they're going to listen to him, but do they really want to help him out? No, they don't. They don't really want to help him out. That's just not a good energy to have when you're going into negotiations for trades and all that stuff like that. Oh, yeah, that's right. Anchorman. I like Lamp. Yeah. That's right. I should know that too. I love that movie. It's like one of my favorite movies ever. Anchorman was one of my favorite. Ron Burgundy and the gang. That was friggin' amazing. Brick, are you just saying? My favorite of that movie is I'd like to have a party with my pants in the pants party. Would you like to party with me in my... Are you saying that you'd like to have a party in your pants? Yes. Oh, that was the best. I like trees. I can do I like trees, yeah. I used to do that all the time. But Bergevin, if Bergevin did that to me, imagine Bergevin calling me up and wanting help because he needs help down the middle. Like, yeah, I'll talk to Bergevin. Sure, no problems. I like trees. We need the center man there. Would you, I like trees. What? I will give you this player for a pick. I like trees. That would be funny. One of these days is probably going to be well into the future. I have a glass box of emotion. Yeah. I'm in a glass box of emotion. Yeah. That one and Talladega Nights. Oh my gosh, Talladega Nights. Yeah, exactly. He is calling everybody up. Well into when I'm like really old and I just don't care anymore. Probably right around the time I start wearing adult diapers. My wife is going to get mad at me and I'm going to do that. I'm just going to keep on saying, I like Trey over and over and over again until things start flying. Montreal, I don't know if Bergevin will learn from anything, to tell you the honest truth. I mean, we got to remember all the way up until this magical season, they couldn't draft anybody. They made horrible trades. It was just like bad move after bad move, and they just kind of hit pay dirt, like bang, bang, bang. And now I say all this, and he'll make some more moves and hit. But I seriously think he just struck lightning. I think lightning struck once, and it's going to be a disaster from here on in. Yeah. Steele's got a flooded out basement right now. So I suppose I probably won't be doing that video tonight. Where is Hockey News Reports when we had all this conversation about Montreal? I think what's going to happen, I just have a feeling that they're going to overpay for Eichel. That's what I think is going to happen. And it might end up just come out smelling like roses. They might end up just come out smelling like roses. Eichel comes back from his injuries and I think they're going to overpay for Eichel, but then it ends up working out. I don't know, like maybe even Suzuki. I don't know, but there's Habs fans are great, but there are like on a whole in general, but there are some Hab fans that are just let's say there's more Hab fans that I can't deal with than any other fans in the NHL. Some maybe the Rangers, but yeah, Habs fans like the ones that are like diehard Montreal can do nothing wrong fans. They're insufferable to deal with. Like they are so much I like tree worthy. Those guys. You can't even talk to them. Can't even talk to them. Which hockey documentary was that came on Netflix? I just sent, we got to keep on talking about the Habs because I just sent it out to everybody there in Montreal land that we're talking about Bergevin and what he might do. But going back to it, I really think he's going to go do something for Eichel. Those two firsts, maybe even the first next year, because they just got a whole bunch of second round picks and stuff like that. Those two firsts, the first next year, Evans, something like that, Romanov to get Eichel. And that, you know what? That would be out of desperation, and it might just totally work out perfect. If Eichel hits it, if Eichel comes back totally healthy, you got Suzuki and Eichel as your top two, and then you can work with the rest of your offense. Like, it could work out exactly the way it needs to. It's called Crime and Penalties. Oh. Yeah, make sure you hit that like button. Why would it screw Montreal if Eichel went there? It would be a tough thing for Buffalo to do, but they would have to pay crap loads for it. I believe Eichel's going to come back 100%. I think from everything I've heard about that surgery, there's no reason why he can't have a good 7 or 8 years at as good as he ever was. Well, you'll have Eichel and Suzuki up the middle. You'll have Toffoli on the right. You'll still have Caulfield. You would still have Caulfield. But that top two up the middle, and then you can just work around those two top guys. As long as you're really, 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 really sure, and from everything I've heard, when he comes back from that surgery, he's going to be fine. Let's see. I'll bring up Montreal here. You'd have Gallagher. You still got Gallagher. So you'd have Eichel. You could put Suzuki, Toffoli, and Caulfield. Then Mike Hoffman, I guess, since you got him for a couple years. Play him with a great defensive player like Eichel. And Gallagher. Evans is gone. You trade Evans with that deal. You give Alexander Romanov and 3 first-round picks. Or 2 first-round picks. Maybe those 2 first-round picks will do it. I doubt it. I don't know what the offers are out there right now, but Hoffman is meh. Yeah, I agree. But if you're playing with a guy like Eichel, you just have to tell him, when you get it, shoot it. Absolutely, they'd be better with Jack Eichel. If he comes back healthy, Jack Eichel will be, he could be a 100-point player. He was already on pace to do so as it is. So. No, he hasn't even had the surgery yet. Are you better off with Phil Kessel than Kaufman? I would say yes. That's a good question, Juan. I would say yes. I'd say you're better off with Phil Kessel than Kaufman. Phil Kessel's a better passer than Hoffman. The underrated passer. He's probably about the same defensively, I suppose, at this stage of his career. But he's got cups. Hoffman doesn't have cups. Hoffman's got a killer shot off the off wing. If you play him on the off wing, he's got a killer shot. He's going to help your power play, no doubt about that. His shot is fantastic. He makes his bread and butter off that freaking shot that he's got. But defensively, he's an absolute basket case. But I think I would take Phil Kessel over Hoffman. Well, when he won the cup, it meant a lot. Ladd was a great player when he won the cup. He was a very good player anyways. But at the very least, you can say you were in an environment where they won the cup. And you learn from that at the very least. But I would still take Kessel over Hoffman, yeah. Hoffman's one of those guys that's so bad defensively that it's negative value for his offense, especially when he's not potting at least 30, 35 goals. Chicago, he was good. And then he just went south after that. Injuries or whatever. Who was it? Was it Snow that gave him that $6 million a year contract out of desperation? Because Okposo went to Buffalo. Like, it was good to fade that, but they probably shouldn't have tried to fill it. Ladd just had a really bad year in Winnipeg, and I think it was pretty obvious he was injured, and they went and got him anyways. Jack Eichel would make every team better, yeah, absolutely. Except for teams that are so capped out, they'd have to lose too many good players to have him. But for the most part, if he's on, yeah, a fully healthy Eichel, yeah, I believe he's going to come back from that no problems. I would love to know what the offers are out there. I heard Kotkaniemi was part of the offer, apparently. Kotkaniemi was part of the offer from Montreal. And that was one of the big reasons why Kotkaniemi got his agent to call around, because he didn't want to go to Buffalo, and I don't blame him. His agent gets full marks, though, man. Holy crap. So on our last bit here, I was going to do this. I was thinking about trading Marner. For our last 15 minutes, I was going to come up with some trades for Mitch Marner. I've done this several times. I already had it before. I already did it before, but he hadn't been signed at that time. It just seems to me that it's either him or Nylander that would be traded there. And Nylander is got 3 more years at $7 million. And they could re-sign Nylander at that time. Marner's got 4 years at just under 11 million. I wonder if it would be worth it. If you could find something worth it. Yeah, I don't know. That would be, wouldn't it be interesting to find out what Carolina was offering for Kotkaniemi? And then they ended up doing that. I imagine the offer of the first and the third was less. And that would mean Bergevin didn't put it in his head that they possibly could offer sheet him and get a first and third for it. He didn't. He dared them to do it. And they went, okay. And they did it. After the draft, Don Waddell was talking to the media. Oh, okay, yeah, probably. Detroit Red Wings trade Larkin. Is Larkin their captain now? I don't see them trading Larkin. It would have to be like a killer return. Killer return. I don't know. Unless Larkin has finally said, you know what, this build has been too long, but I doubt it. I doubt that. I mean, did you have, okay, Marner, I'm going to trade Marner. I got 10 minutes to trade Marner. I'm going to trade Marner. We'll do more of this tomorrow. Bring your, that's what your homework is for tomorrow. Your homework for tomorrow is to bring your Marner trades. We're going to trade Marner, so Toronto has depth. Your homework for tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be on at the same time, by the way. Same time, same place. And we're going to bring the Marner trades. But I'll try to throw one out there here before we go. Trading Marner. I'll give it like a sort of like what I may do. There's only a couple teams. Carolina could do Marner. Right winger. They don't need Marner though. Teravainen, they've got Teravainen. They got Nietzsche's. It would take Tuvo for sure. Tuvo is making 5.5. It would be killer though. Imagine Marner, Aho, and Svechnikov. Woo! I don't think they have. What's the cap space? What's the cap space? And they have an internal cap, so they may not do this no matter what. I don't think they'd ever want to pay one player that much. Yeah, I don't think it'll work because after Svechnikov got 7.7, and then Marner comes in at 11 million. That would not look good. That could be a room killer right there. Mitch Marner to the Red Wings? That makes sense. Well, then you would trade Larkin probably. The only thing is you'd want defense, and they don't really have defensemen to give. But they would have a crap load of prospects, probably. NHL ready prospects. See Detroit's way down in the bottom. Tyler Bertuzzi. He's 26. He's going to be a free UFA at 23. 21, 20. So it's only a 2-year contract. You're going to have to re-up him in 2 years. Tyler Bertuzzi, Jacob Vrana. Didn't they just sign him long-term? Philippe Zadina. I wonder if they would do that. This would like really throw off their cap structure, and that might be the problem. But if they're unsure about Zadina, you could go Zadina, Joe Veleno, and then some of these guys like Niederbach and Albin Grew or William Vollander, or their first next year. Detroit makes sense if he would be interested in that sort of a deal. Mitch Marner to the Panthers. You would do what deal? You would do that deal for Zadina, Veleno, a first-round pick and a prospect? Because if they got Marner to play with Larkin, it depends on what they believe about Zadina. That's interesting. I don't know if Stevie Y would do that or not. My leaning is he wouldn't, based on the fact that the $11 million contract. And may throw off the salary structure too much. But it's possible he could do it. It depends on how much they believe in Zadina still. And Stevie Y he doesn't really trade much. He doesn't like to trade. He likes to build within. He likes to trust the guys that he's got. You may not do it. Veleno's a good third line center. Zadina, the first rounder next year would be interesting. And then Vollander, who had a sort of a meh year in Sweden last year. But yeah, bring me your Marner trades tomorrow and we'll start that off first thing. Yeah, it's not happening. They're not going to rebuild. There's no way. I see no way that Leafs are going to rebuild. If it's an absolute disaster next year, possibly, but you did all that to bring Tavares in, and I don't know. I don't think they have much of a choice but to keep on freaking heading the same direction and hoping that the cap keeps on going up and they can just keep on filling pieces in, filling pieces in, filling pieces in until they've got a great team, which could happen over a long period of time, but could happen. But it would take a long period of time. And then, but like I said, as long as they've got, to me, their biggest fault was getting Mrazek. I would have got Bernier for sure. But then maybe Bernier didn't want to go back to Toronto's. Not a very easy place to play. And considering the fact that he went to New Jersey, where probably nobody will even know who he is, I would think he was kind of like, all right, these hockey markets, let's go. Well, then he could have went to, well, yeah, you got to look at money too. He could have went to Carolina, but they didn't really offer him too much money, so. Okay, bring me those tomorrow. Again, tomorrow night, Off the Wall Hockey, John will be on his show. He'll have his show going on. No, Friday night. Friday night, Off the Wall Hockey will be having his show on. I'm hoping I can get Peyton to come on one of these. And I guess he's working again, which makes it difficult. And if I think everybody's in vacation summer mode right now. And tomorrow night, no, wait, is today Wednesday or Thursday? Today's Thursday. So yeah, tomorrow night. You said Suzuki is offer sheeted? What? What are you talking about, Suzuki offer sheet? Today is Thursday. I got a show to do tonight. Maybe, I don't know. I was supposed to do it with Steel. I was supposed to do a show with Steel tonight, but it sounds like he doesn't have any power, so I guess that won't be happening. You heard that Suzuki was offer sheeted. I thought Suzuki already had a contract. What's going on here? What's going on? Just as I'm going to go out, you throw me something like that? What the heck? Yeah, he is a restricted free agent right now. That better be one unbelievable offer sheet because they're going to match anything. But then they'll lose all their... no, they won't. Where did you hear that, Bill? Who the heck is offering... I got nothing on that. Well, I guess that'll be something to talk about tomorrow if anything comes of that. Oh, he needs to be signed after next year. So they can't offer sheet him yet. It would have to be next year that the offer sheet would happen. Okay, guys, that's my full 42. I got to get going here. I got to go pick up the little lady. Maybe do a video tonight. Probably not, though. Yeah, it's been awesome. You guys are, look at you guys. How many people you guys come in here? It's the middle of hockey. It's like the middle of the summer. Hockey season haven't started. We're getting like so many people in here. And I'm so thankful for it, really. Like, it's going to be a great hockey season, and I appreciate all of you guys. This is my full 42. I like Trace. Okay, bye.